Here's the 1973 Wagoneer I got to do some prospecting with. And I've enjoyed driving this thing up into the boonies, but I'm going to be moving to Oregon probably. Let's get my logo on it even. I've modified the back window with this retroed window that slides down, and it weighs a lot less. I've got the original window and most of the hardware still. It has some rust that needs to be treated right there, and it has some rust that needs to be dealt with in the back corners there. Otherwise, it's really in pretty good shape. Both sides have a spot like that. That one's a little less, quite a bit less on that side. It's got a nice hitch, coupling there. June 20 is the licensing tell on this one. And reasonable tires. Put a new pair on the front because I had one go south on the front. It's got not a new pair, but a good used pair. And yeah, this thing will climb. Boy, it's got new upholstery. Arn Jacob did the upholstery on this thing. I mounted a CB radio there. I never got around to hooking it up. I got a few things to do there yet to hook the power up to it. But anyway, yeah, these are new seats under here. It's all brand new fabric. I've only driven this a couple thousand miles since he did that. And since I also put a seal in the rear end, some new brake cylinders in that were leaking, door works nice. The other one's a little bit sprung, but you just slam it hard and it goes down. Good. And we dropped a tree on it and did a slight dent there. It's actually could be pounded out and look pretty decent, I think. It's probably not even needing a new hood. Works great. Get my hand under there. Yeah. I'm holding the camera mount. Nice 360 in there. That as far as it running good, it runs great. It just has I put a 4-barrel on it too. It's got a quadrajet on it, and it needs some adjustment, I think, on the secondary, but I've gotten by it. It runs good, doing what I needed to do. And it's got a new power steering unit. It was leaking, and I put a brand new full bottom piece in that power steering. The main bit there. Got a coil I stuck on there after the coil failed. Should put a high-end coil on it. Probably want it reliable. Those old coils tend to fail. New water pump almost with 1,000 miles or so. Starter 1,000 miles or so. And alternator 1,000 miles or so. And I did a bunch of wiring on it. So it's yeah, all that stuff's brand new. And the camshaft just a couple thousand miles, and the timing chain just a couple thousand. This guy's noisy. Doing a lot of construction over here. Anyway, I'll fire it up here, and the battery is fairly new, but I let it sit, and it seems to go dead if I let it sit for a month or so. So I need to keep throwing charge on it for whatever reason. I don't drive it enough. But yeah, it doesn't have any current leaks. It's all good there. Lights all work. What else did I do to this thing? It needs a parking brake. It's got a working block heater too, so that's nice for Montana. And yeah, everything seems to work good other than that, I think. Gets up real good on the hills. It's good in that low 4-wheel, and it climbs anything. Crummy gas cap. Oh, and I've retroed this thing so when you put the back down, it's got snaps, and inside it'll you snap on a tarp I've got there that goes on and straps onto the top, and forms a kind of a tent down there, so you can stick your feet out and sleep in here. which came in useful when we were doing prospecting. I'd just sleep up at the hill there in the summer. Wouldn't want to do that in the winter, boy. But yeah, I'll fire it up here, and I gave it a brief spin, and it sounds like it's got plenty of battery right now. So let's go ahead and see if we can start it. I don't know why last time it rained it was real cold. Now it's warm, so maybe that's a lot of it. So I just pump a bunch of fuel up into the car because it sits there and fires up and you get enough in there to start a couple times usually. Got it set to fire enough, and you have to do it a few times. Pressure 50 pounds. Got a second, still put a second oil pressure gauge in. It's more accurate. It says 35 on this one or something. Let it warm up a little bit here. Yeah, I got a thing where you spin it like this to turn the choke off and like this to turn it on the bottom. Put in a retro choke. You could put a conventional one in there pretty easy, but I always like being weird and different for some reason. But yeah, that stuff was pretty crackled up there with that speaker grill over it. And what else? Let's see, they strap the door. It's got a decent working radio in it too. CD player, I think works. That's a check. Oh, the gas gauge. The gas gauge works sort of. It had somebody had put a lead weight in there for a float. Basically, it didn't float in water, and I fixed that. And now it works, sort of. It's kind of a pain to get to, though, and I just said, well, good enough. I'll just fill it when it gets down low, when I know roughly where I'm at. It doesn't measure accurately at the bottom at all. It'll run out on you before it hits empty, so you got to kind of just fill it when you know it needs it. And at least it gives you some indicator. But that could be improved by somebody who wanted to tear off all the plating again and get in there and figure out what in the world's wrong with that assembly that doesn't seem to go full span. Turn down some. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good runner. It just uses a lot of oil. It uses probably quart every 100 and some miles. Got to keep track of your oil. I don't know why. It's probably going through the rings. Ring job on it would probably be a great thing. And did that on my car a while back. The old Cavalier there. Got it to where it's not using near as much oil. Yeah, apparently that battery's okay. I thought it was maybe dead because last time it didn't seem to have much oomph when I fired it up cold, but it was really cold, so who knows. Helps to run I didn't run the block heater because it wasn't cold enough to do that, I didn't think, but I had to throw a charge on the battery to get it started. To run it too long. Oh yeah, crack in the windshield. Got that, somebody cemented that crack over there, and it's not in my direct field of vision, so I've just dealt with that, but dirty hood. Yeah, it could use a used the body work done on it, and new paint job. Put some pretty nice mud flaps there. Those were good. Made those. And yeah, somebody put a 4-inch lift kit on it, I think. So it's up a little bit. Let to get around. The rocky area is pretty good up there in basin where we were taking it. Yeah. Solid machine. Somebody got a little crinkle right there. I don't know what that was from. Preceded me having it, but straightened out that grill a little bit. Got it looking pretty good. Got some bendies in it. I keep a funnel in that bag if you wonder why that bag's there. My oil funnel bag. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get, close to what I put $1,500 into it, plus a bunch of repairs, a lot of repairs. Ignition system right off the bat, and then the new everything except for the ring job, pretty much on the bearings on the engine. And yeah, brakes. Needs the emergency brake hooked up. That cable's just hanging down there, and so that should be attended to eventually. I just always am conscious of what I'm doing and don't use it, and hook up that CV, and it would be a real rad machine, huh? Somebody put some retro clamp on the back of the muffler. Oh, one issue I had, one of the rocker nuts, and I haven't checked it for a while. I hope I dinged it enough. One of the rocker nuts on this side, number 3 or whatever, will back off by itself, and all of a sudden it'll just start firing back into the manifold. That's fun. Yeah, so I had to tighten it down, and then it just ran fine again. But yeah, some reason that nut does not like to stay put previously, but I haven't dealt with it for a while. I think it's okay now, but might check that and see what the spacing is on the valve on that side too. Haven't checked it for a while, but so far it hasn't let me down. Starts going I pull over, pull that off, then tighten it. Get it back in spec where the rocker arm won't be too loose. And see, it says right now I got pretty full on the fuel, right? It says half a tank, but I've really got quite a bit more than that. It only goes up to 3/4, I think. Yeah, anyway, that's the Jeep.